Hi everybody, I am P.Renukadevi, Assistant Professor in Department of Computing Technologies in SRM in KTR campus. The last video we discussed about some basic concepts of OS, that is what is in the operating system, what is in the CPU, how we are allocating the resources, what is the use of OS, everything we discussed, some basic concepts we discussed in part 1. Today we are going to discuss the next subtopics comes under that is the basic concepts, that is memory management, process management, mass storage management, what is the meaning for process state diagram, everything today we are going to discuss about in basic part 2. Okay, so first subtopic is process management. What does mean by process? The process is something is in execution, we can call it as process. Any task, it's executed somewhere. So that is called as process. Here we are divided into two tasks, that is what is in the active and passive. That is, passive means it's a static, the active means that is a dynamic. It is nothing but, see, the passive is the program is comes under passive, it is a static only. We can't change anything. So in the active is nothing but we are executing the program in the process, we can call it as, that is the process is comes under active. So if you want to execute any task, we need certain resource, that is CPU, memory and IO files. For executing the task, we need CPU. So how to store the data in the one location? So you need on memory. For getting the input and output, you need IO files. Okay. So before that, before we are executing any task, we should know some terms. So what is in the program counter? The program counter is nothing but which is used to store the address of the next instruction to be executed in the processor. So that is called as program counter, which is located in between the CPU and the queue. So some processors are waiting in the queue. So in the queue, in the processor, in middle we are locating the program counter, which holds the address of the next instruction to be executed in the processor itself. So the next one is what is meant by synchronization. The synchronization is nothing but which is used to check the coordination between the two processors. So at what time it is started, what time it's going to end. So how we are executing that task when it is concurrently, when it is parallel execution. So parallel means it's executed parallel task, which we can use multiple CPU for executing the task. Then the what are the activities are comes under in the process management? How to create a new process, for creating a new process and deleting a new process. And what are the tasks? So how we are suspending the process or resuming the process. Suspension is nothing but we are stopping the task for some time and resumes after the suspension. We can resume the task. So, providing the mechanism for process synchronization is nothing but, so we are checking the coordination between the two processes, at what time it is started and what time it is ended, when it is going to end. So, in middle, what's happening there, everything we are going to check within the synchronization. Next one is communication, whether it is process, inter-process or intra-process, and whether then it is locking. What is in by locking? So somewhere it is locked. It is called as deadlock. So two processes are there, but the two processes are trying to access the same resources at the same time. In the same that time, we can't share the process for the two processes at the same time. If it is a non-shareable resource only, we can allocate the process for allocate the resource for only one process at the same time. But here we can't allocate the task because two processes are trying to access the same resources for same timings. So that time the deadlock will occur. Next one is this. These are the topics that comes under process management. Next one is memory management. Then the memory management is nothing but here What does it by memory? For storing the data and instruction we are using on particular location, we can call it as memory. We can store the lot of data in the memory itself, and then primary memory and secondary memory. So which one is volatile, which one is non-volatile, when the power is off, so which one is temporary or permanent. The primary memory is a temporary memory. It is not a permanent memory. The amount of storage location also very small. We can't store the huge amount of data in the secondary storage device. We can store the huge amount of data in the secondary storage device itself. So the amount space or that the storage space also high. So the CPU utilization also high while we are storing the data and informations. So if we are searching for any data in the primary memory, if the particular data is not available in the primary memory, we can go for the secondary storage devices and collect the data from the secondary storage to primary storage device. Then we can send it for the execution in the processor itself. So that is called as swapping method we are using here. And next one is, that is we can, so what is the meaning for file system as storage management? What are the ways we are using for storing the data and information? Mostly we are using secondary storage devices for storing the data and instructions. So secondary storage devices are nothing but CD, floppy. The earlier days we are using some tape drives and disks, and the CDs and everything we are using for storing the data and informations. And what is in way file management system? File system management, collection of data, we can call it as file. So here how we are creating and deleting, how we are manipulating and mapping the file onto the secondary storage devices. What does mean by backup? How we are taking the backup, everything we can, it comes under in the file system management. How to read and write the files, how we are give the read write permission, everything is comes under file system management. In the mass storage management is nothing but actually it comes under cloud. Yeah, so it is nothing but the free space management. Mostly nowadays we are doing some any project or whatever it is. We used to store the content in the huge space. We need a huge amount of space for storing the data and information. So for that, we need the virtual memory. Virtually it's allocated. So how we are storing the data. So once the accommodated, the space is accommodated for some files. How we are accommodating, we are allocating the free spaces for the files. How we are, what is the storage location we are using? What is the scheduling, disk scheduling? In what way? What is the how we are assigning the priority between the files, and what are the methods we are using for storing the data and informations? And tertiary storage includes the optical storage and magnetic tapes. These are all comes under mass storage management. So this is the performance of various levels of storage when we are using the registers, cache and main memory and solid state disk and magnetic tape strips. What are the typical size of we are using that? Next one is implementation technology, custom memory with the multiple ports, on chip or off chip. Next one is flash memory, magnetic access time and bandwidth managed by. So these are all comes under that is performance of various levels of storage. And next one is migration of data from the disk to registers. From disk to registers, we are storing the data. That is from hard disk to main memory to cache to hardware registers. So then we are moving the content to the processor for execution. And next one is the we are, how we are protecting the file, how we are giving the security. So the security is only based on the user ID and password. Those who have only authorized person can access the data information with the help of username and password. We can give the rights for the user for accessing the data and information. The example we can consider from your what your email ID, and you are working once working somewhere. In that place, they are giving some production ID for everybody. For those the authorized person can access the data and informations. And the next one is in that the basics we discussed how the data and informations are stored in the memory. So we are using some data structure, that is kernel data structure. So here we are using list, singly linked list, doubly linked list, and circular linked list. This methods. And next one is the binary search tree. By means two, that is only one parent, it produces two children. Only one parent and two children. Left tree and right, left and right subtree. So the left tree is having less number, less than the root node. The higher right tree, right node is having highest value than the root node. Left tree having less value than the root node. Right tree having highest value than the root node. So this is the another form of storing the data and instructions. Then we are using the hash function for storing the content. And next one is what are the ways of communicating. So what are the network we are using in the network computers. That is the in what is the mobile network, what is in the network, the systems are connected together to form the network. So if it is a wireless means the example we can consider from a mobile data everything. So for protection we are giving some firewalls and everything. And next one is uh, local area network, wide area network, and metropolitan area network, and personal area network, PAN, LAN. When we compare with the other things, that is, for that we are transferring the content from one location to another locations. Means we need some two protocols, that is transmission control protocol, TCP, IP, and UDP. So here the TCP is a connection oriented protocol, UDP is a connection less protocol. Before that, we should know about what is meant by connection oriented and the connection less. It's a connection oriented and the connection less means connection oriented protocols is nothing but once we are sending the data from sender to receiver, we receive the acknowledgement from the receiver side to sender side. Yes, I received acknowledgement from the receiver. The data is received. Yes, I received the data. So this is called as connection oriented. UDP is a user datagram protocol. It comes under connection list. We did not receive any acknowledgement from the receiver side. So that is called as connection less. So this two protocols we are using here for transmitting the data from one location to another location, whether it is connection less or connection oriented. Consider that is local area network. So we have one building. We are establishing the connection within the building is called as local area network. The wide area network is nothing but it's from Tambaram to Guduanjeri to where your central, central or something like that, Perambur, something like that. So metropolitan is, the World Wide Web. So it's connected within the particular world itself. And personal area network, PAN, it's only for who are working inside. So that is one to one. So it is called as personal area network. So next one is uh, and next one is how we are establishing the client server communication within the network. Yeah, one person, one is the server, another things are connected with the client. The example we can consider in the lab. So one server is connected, the most of the clients are connected together. So they can share the information. If you have any query, send it to the server will respond for the particular question. They will send the information to other. Everybody can receive the information at the same time. So this is called as the client server communication. So it's a one type of interaction like peer-to-peer communication. That is, it's like topologies we are using peer-to one-to-one. It's nothing but it's the so these are all basic subtopics are comes under the OS basics. Next in part 3, we will discuss the remaining basic concepts in the part 3. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching.